Hello and welcome to Doon Does DVD. Seeing as now that I've got new shelves, it's the first time in a long time I've been able to lay out all of my collection together and in order. Today I'm going to give you a full tour of my collection. First, a quick word on organisation. Obviously alphabetical, with sequel exceptions, is the way to go when it comes to organising a DVD collection. But I also decided to try something I've seen a lot of people doing these days, and separating DVD and Blu-ray. And I also, of course, like to separate film and TV. So what I've ended up with is films on DVD, TV on DVD, films on Blu-ray, and TV on Blu-ray. And then in the middle at the moment, special collections, which is just the Masters of Cinema collection. In my old setup, I had my Blu-ray and DVD mixed alphabetically, but so far I'm quite liking having them separate, apart from the fact that there are a couple of sets where I have some on Blu-ray and some on DVD that have now ended up separated. So let's go in for a closer look, shall we? So to start with, we've got DVD on film, all alphabetically of course. Lots of Batmans. I still need to get the third Nolan Batman, but I think at this point I'm more likely to buy a Blu-ray set that's got all three, rather than getting another DVD that goes with those ones. All the Bonds go together under B, but that's one of the sets that ended up split, because anything after Casino Royale I've bought on Blu-ray. I kind of cheat and put all of Kevin Smith's Universe stuff between Clerks 1 and 2. It's sort of a series, but not quite, and it's easier to buy if they're all together, basically. A nice little box set of all the Cubes, which is mainly just the single releases. Then another reason to hate reboots, you buy a nice Die Hard box set, and then the year after they start making new ones again. Then lots more films, mostly fairly mainstream. Although looking at it, I'm not sure whether I've actually ever watched Hellraiser 5, even though I own it. I have a weird relationship with Hellraiser, because when I was a student we always used to try and watch them all together in sequence in a night, and I'd be fast asleep before we finished 3. Iron Man, the start of the MCU, is the only one I've got on DVD. Everything else I've got on Blu-ray. I'll have to upgrade that at some point. And although Kevin Smith's Jay and Silent Bob stuff is all together, his other stuff is separately in order. Lethal Weapon, probably some of the oldest DVDs in my collection, is still one of those terrible cardboard snapcase things. Lord of the Rings, something which pretty much everyone's got at this point, extended and theatrical. Nice Reservoir Dogs tin can thing. To fit the shelves I had to split the Star Trek series, but luckily the split came exactly where we switched to the Next Generation. And that's another series that ended up split because I've got Into Darkness on Blu-ray. Then Star Wars, which is something that I really ought to upgrade to Blu-ray, but at the moment I'm not going to ever get rid of these ones, because these are the editions that have the original theatrical versions. So until Disney give us a new box set of everything, complete with hundreds of different versions, that will have to do. Nice collection of all the Superman stuff, pre-Man of Steel. Tremors series, which is a favourite, but another one that got split because the new Tremors 5 I just bought on Blu-ray. And X-Men, that's another one that got split. And that's about it for film on DVD. Then there's TV, which is all very obvious for a science fiction fan. Babylon 5, Battlestar Galactica, Buffy, Angel, Dark Skies, some random old 80s children's cartoons, Farscape, Lex, Lost, which I do own the complete lot of, but some of them are out on loan, so I'll have to rearrange those at some point. Millennium, Quantum Leap, the first 8 series of Red Dwarf, the first 12 series of South Park, Then we've got all of the Stargate SG-1s. One day I'll pick up Atlantis in Universe, but I've not done that yet. Then it's Star Trek, the original series. I started with the fancy cases for the Next Generation, and I have Series 1, but the rest I bought the new slimline cheaper ones. Then one series of Deep Space Nine. Because that one was my favourite, I left upgrading it till last, because I already had the entire set on VHS. And now I'm kind of still holding out hope that they'll one day do a big HD revamp of it like they did for Next Generation. They probably won't, but I'm still not willing to give up yet. Then there's the rest of Star Trek, Voyager and Enterprise, the original Clone Wars shorts, then all the X-Files stuff including the Lone Goodman, and the 90s X-Men cartoon. And finally on this side, a bunch of music related things, live concerts and other miscellaneous stuff. In the middle we have what's currently in my Masters of Cinema collection, which is nowhere near all of them yet, but it's starting to look significant. And I have managed to make sure I've got some out of print stuff like Unfemery and the Mizoguchi box set. Then we've got films on Blu-ray. Back to the Future box set, which I always said in the past I would display front facing because it's not actually got anything on the spine, so now I've got space I can do. Quite a few steelbooks hidden in here because they've become more popular over recent years. Lovely limited edition Harry Potter. 300 out of 25,000. I love when you get a nice round number on a limited edition. Extended Super 3D Hobbits, which I've still not actually watched yet, but one day, soonish, I'm going to subject myself to watching them all together in one go. Hunger Games steelbooks, which I started collecting, but then the third one, for some reason, there was a printing error and there's nothing on the spine, so I haven't bought that yet, and they haven't like replaced it or anything. I may have to get rid of those and just get one of the nice box sets that's got all four in. Indiana Jones, the complete collection, except they're about to make another one of those. More lovely steelbooks popping up. And that's films on Blu-ray. Then finally there's the smallest section, which is TV on Blu-ray. You can see all of those in one shot. I think that my more recent TV collection has been a lot more careful than it used to be. I'm kind of trying to hold off buying series until they're over, because too often things get cancelled or turn rubbish in season 6 and then you don't actually end up wanting them. And often at the end you get a nice box set too. I am very pleased with the Agent Carter steelbook though, that looks lovely. But of course one of the most important reasons for me building new shelves was that I now have a lot of space to expand. If you've not watched the time-lapse of me building these shelves yet, you should do so. There's an annotation there, there's a card and a link down in the doobly-doo. And that's about it. If you want a more detailed look at the titles I've actually got, there's a link in the doobly-doo to my DVD profiler. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you again next week.